Are you feeling stuck, lost, or confused? Are you burned out, fed up, and feel trapped? Well, your reality is about to change. Welcome to the Art of Becoming Unstuck podcast. I'm your host, Arda Ozdemir, the author of The Art of Becoming Unstuck. I'm here with Elizabeth Ouellette and Beth Heron, who happen to be the certified Rise to Realize life coaches. Through community interviews and experiential work, we will give you in this podcast the tools to rise above your limiting life patterns, to realize your highest potential by becoming unstuck from difficult relationships, challenging situations, unfulfilling careers, and bad habits. Today, we have a former graduate, Lisa Ip, who is a certified Rise to Realize life coach, and she has also a day job. Lisa, welcome. So can you tell us a little bit about what that day job is and what made you become Rise to Realize life coach?
Yeah, thank you for that warm welcome, Arda. So I'm an HR professional and I help retain, develop, and attract talent, specifically in the space of helping employees work abroad. And the reason I came to Rise to Realize was after studying many different thought leaders for the past decade, I really resonated with your message, your book, your podcast, in that it's all about self-empowerment, which I love, and have found this tool to be effective in many different situations.
Elizabeth, would you agree? Is it kind of a similar attraction that kind of pulled you to Rise to Realize as well?
Yes.
Do you resonate with Lisa?
Yes, I do. And, the self-empowerment part is really important. But what else, Lisa, attracted you to Arda? Like, I haven't really followed a lot of thought leaders and, I've been kind of doing my own thing and here and there and reading. But this self-empowerment, I feel empowered, but I'm not sure I can really describe that. Can you describe that a little bit more and how you use that in your professional life?
Yeah, I think for me personally, in following a lot of different thought leaders, it's been helpful to kind of explain how the world works and energy and healing and how, happiness is really internal and not external. However, with Rise to Realize, I've found that it's a full circle approach. It not only explains the laws of life and the lessons that we can learn, but it also gives us tools on how to empower ourselves and the path in talking about higher consciousness. That really resonated with me.
Wow, that's a lot of like spiritual and a lot of like a cosmology that is like, is it hard to learn? I mean, it just feels like, I'm a coach, but I'm not sure I could put it in such elegant terms.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. I would say that it's a simple practice, but it's deep philosophical learnings. And I think that wherever we are in life, we get a different appreciation for it. And so it's a journey. I mean, The Art of Becoming Unstuck, I've read the book multiple times because each time I have different takeaways.
I'm so glad you said that because I was reading it like a third time too. I'm like, I didn't realize that. I'm so glad you said that. Beth, have you had that experience?
Yeah, and I love that. And what, Lisa, I wanted to ask you about is there is so much in there and so much in the book. And just want to ask you a little bit more about how you've used a tool, like, so to give everybody else who might be listening or watching.
There it is. There it is.
With all my stickies.
Mine's kind of that way too, with little sticky notes all throughout. But for people that aren't familiar with it, could you just give us one example from your daily life, personal or work, where you've maybe used one of the tools and just what the outcome might have been for you?
Yeah, it's There's just so many different examples where it's come in handy. I think one thing I can think of off the top of my head is just diffusing my own anxiety. So, for example, if I'm going into a meeting and I'm going to be presenting to a large group, and it's minutes away, and I start talking myself into being nervous and feeling butterflies in my stomach, I'll do a 3x3 breath, which is mentioned in the book and taught in our workshops, that I'm able to center myself, and those knots in my stomach, I can use my breath to dissipate them and walk into the meeting confidently. Whereas before, I would just maybe, take a deep breath and talk myself into it's going to be okay. And then that may or may not work. But the 3x3 I've found to be a pretty foolproof method.
Actually, it's one of our most used, widely used techniques. It's so practical, right? You just need to pause when you feel the emotions coming up and rising in your body, and all you got to do is drop into the body to acknowledge those sensations, and through your breath you release it. That's why it's like 3x3. I'm so happy to hear that you're using it and shifting your energy. Any of you, do you guys know why it shifts your energy that dramatically from an anxiety state to a neutral, completely centered, as Lisa said? Do you guys know what's happening there? What's your experience with it?
Yeah,
Well,
I would just say,
go
I
ahead.
just wanted to jump in real quick and say that, the thing I love about your technique, Arda, is that a lot of this is not new. As you know, it's not new. I mean, it's but the way it's organized, I think, helps create a easy to understand bevy of tools that we can all access. So 3x3, I think sometimes it's called box breathing. There's, or it's similar to box breathing or other techniques, but it's, sort of that same concept of breathing in for 3 breaths or three seconds, holding it for 3 seconds, and then releasing. Why? I think you asked why we think that works.
Yeah.
And you guys chime in. I think it works because it's letting us tune into ourselves and choose a response. I think we've talked about the fact that our emotions can kind of get the best of us, and you described lovely anxiety. And I think a lot of people, young and older, deal with this. It seems like there are new prevalence of anxiety in our society right now, and it so it allows you to identify that emotion, because otherwise, what are we feeling? Just a tightness in our stomach, just a tightness in our chest, just a tightness in our throat, and we don't take the time to understand exactly what might be happening.
We just say I'm anxious, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of people, and Elizabeth, don't forget your answer about why it shifts our energy. But it's just like Lisa, when you have that anxiety, if you didn't dive deep into what is causing the physical sensations that you feel in the body, the thoughts that are causing this emotion to arise, it keeps repeating, doesn't it?
That's right.
Arda, I
yeah.
think, there's a lot of mind chatter, like, what's that voice going on? Oh, you're anxious. Oh, you're going to mess up. Oh, your mouth is dry. Am I going to be able to pull my lips away from my gums because everything is so dry, right? And so seriously, and by going into that 3x3, that voice that is kind of like self-sabotaging kind of disappears, and you focus, it refocuses the brain on your body and calmness. And so you're going in, leaving all that behind. And that's how I find that helps me a lot. It calms my whole nervous system down. Just like, whoosh. Then I walk in and I keep breathing and I'm able to focus. It helps me focus.
Lisa, thank you. Lisa, do you feel that you use once a day or more? Is it just in meetings?
Oh, multiple times a day. And
What are you struggling? Like, where do you use this more often during the day? Like, where do you perform your art, the art of becoming unstuck?
even in meditation, it's, maybe a time where we are or I'm connecting with my body, right? And I start feeling these sensations, and I'm not even really sure why it's coming up, right? It's not like I'm going into a meeting, I'm just meditating, but maybe in finally tuning in and finding these feelings. And, previously I would just either not even notice that it's there or let it dissipate, or it just recurs, right? But having the tool, I just stop meditating and I just do the 3x3 instead. And there's a part of me that is not only relieved that I don't feel it anymore, but I'm really happy that I was able to, eliminate a little sandbag.
Nice, nice. So again, general question, jump in. What is the most remarkable, let's continue with this 3x3. What is the most memorable, remarkable feature of 3x3? How do you get into this? Again, I think we kind of shared the technique a little bit. You drop into the body, you find the physical sensations, you breathe in, hold 3 seconds and exhale out of your feet to release that sandbag, release the physical sensation, the tension your emotions create. What is the feature? What is the hook? When do you remember? How do you remember to do it?
Well, for me, honestly, it's when it's interesting. The other day I was sitting down with my family and then someone said something and all of a sudden I'm able to identify like, oh, anxiety. I feel it in my stomach is coming up. So it's a reminder. And I'm just like, I got to peace out, man. I just got to, just got to calm myself down. And by doing 3x3 without anybody even noticing, I was doing the 3x3. It just brought me back to the room and centered. So it's when I feel something, I go into it. And now it's become automatic. I don't know if that happens for you, Lisa and Beth.
Yeah. And Arda, the other thing I'll just interject here is that your book, The Art of Becoming Unstuck, talks a lot about triggers. And I think that's part, the way that I use it too, when you notice that you're being triggered by something. And then the other thing I'll mention is that, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like a lot of people are having trouble sleeping and getting to sleep or staying asleep. And so the 3x3 breath could be a tool to use when, your sleep is being disrupted. Yeah.
Can you do like 3x3, then like double it to 6x6 and then double it to 9x9, or you just
get triple the result?
So maybe let's talk about that in a second. Before that, I'm actually curious when Lisa, when you are using this, do you think about the intensity of the physical sensations? Do you kind of measure yourself? Also, what you said about meditation, it looks like you are now moving from your meditation cushion, bringing that meditative state to your real life, to real situations, which is, I'm very happy to hear. So do you, when you're doing it in real life situations, do you use the intensity, the measurement of the physical sensations?
I do. Through the life coaching school, I've learned that for stronger sensations, we can hold for longer than 3 seconds.
Oh.
Elizabeth mentioned, could be 6 seconds. 9 is probably the highest I've gone. And, sometimes if I've done 3 and there's still some lingering, then I might do a 4th.
Nice. And that could be 3x9 or 4x9 or 6x12. What are we doing?
Get a whole matrix going on here.
Yeah, whole matrix. Exactly. That is all about the breath matrix. So what is it that we are doing here when we are inhaling that first inhale into the physical sensation? As Lisa said, at the life coaching school, we teach how to stay with it. Obviously, for longer periods of time, that's when the body finds its chance, the opportunity to digest those sandbags, those repressed feelings, repressed fears. But what is happening? Just remember that first 3x3 breath, and you're inhaling, you found that physical sensation, the intensity is 8, intensity is 9, you're just like, oh my God, this anxiety, never felt this intense before. How did that first inhale felt? And what was going on there in the beginning of that method?
Well, feel free to chime in, but for me, it's really connecting with the body, and to be able to get that energy out of the body so that it won't recur. And it's like you mentioned earlier, it's an energy shift.
Exactly.
Lisa, I love that, because oftentimes before I went through artist training and learned some of his principles, I would go, oh, I feel anxious, and just like shun it. Let's like get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. And it's such a instinctual habit for me that actually accepting that feeling, bringing it in, recognizing it, and then being able to discharge it right through my feet. It doesn't recur like this, and it doesn't recur more powerfully like it had been in the future. So just shunning that isn't helping me. So this has really changed my life, to be able to recognize it and bring it and be in control of that sensation.
Yeah, I love that, Elizabeth. And I think who wants to feel something unpleasant? So, right, we're sort of programmed that something unpleasant is bad and we want to avoid it. But in this case, it's teaching us that it's neutral. There's pleasant and there's unpleasant. And then we experience, the unpleasant, and we're able to, there's just information, right? It's just all information for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That information is self-knowledge. That information is self-awareness. You all said so beautifully. And instead of pushing, what are we doing? Instead of pushing it away, what are we doing by inhaling into it? What's the third step?
Welcoming.
And people said, don't be angry, don't be anxious, don't be nervous, don't worry about it. But what we are doing is we are actually shifting it all around and bringing it back to us, welcoming everything, because it is part of us, right? Lisa mentioned the word self-empowerment.
And what I want to add on to that, Arda, is if we do keep pushing it away and don't acknowledge the anxiety or, the anger or whatever, it's going to continue to manifest in our body and manifest as, disease, dis-ease, right? So that's why this tool is empowering and very important for us to embrace and try to integrate into our lives.
Lisa, I'm sorry, Arda, I was just going to ask Lisa if she asked other people to use this method at work. Like, don't approach me until you do your 3x3, because I feel like doing that in my life. Do you ever do that?
Just stick a sign outside her door.
Please practice 3x3 before entering.
Well, not quite like that, but it's been a great tool to know, because, in my example of presenting, when I have other colleagues that are presenting with me who are also feeling nervous, it's a simple tool that I can share with them so that they can also practice it. And, that changes the energy for all of us.
Beautiful. So obviously, I'm sure everybody's who are listening to us right now is wondering, how can we use it? And Lisa, is there anything that you feel stuck in your life today? Maybe you're dealing with things in life. Maybe there's new things are coming up. Can you maybe scan through your life and let us know if there's any field that you feel stuck.
Well, lately, the thing that I'm feeling stuck about is that a few months ago, I decided to start a passion project in trying to find more things that I can do that gives me joy.
Mm.
And so
Yeah.
I thought, well, when I hear inspiring stories, when I learn about something great, I'd love to share it. And podcasting is a great way to reach people from all over the world. And you know me, I love to ask questions. So then, light bulb moment, I thought, I'm going to start a podcast.
Nice.
And so I looked into it and I figured out all the things that I need to do. And I was really excited. I was going to do this. And I started thinking about all the people that I wanted to invite on the show and talk to them about their inspiring stories and share. And so along the way, that excitement started to dissipate because there were some bumps in the road, some technical aspects. I created my own website, even though I'm low tech, and I figured out how to record and broadcast it and get myself on some platforms. But
Let me interrupt you. What do you call them? What do you call these bumps?
What do I call these bumps?
Triggers?
Triggers, sandbags.
Yes, yes.
I'm thinking
Yes.
moguls,
Repressed fears.
potholes.
Yeah. It's a
I just want to ask real
procrastination.
quick, do your speed bumps have to, often when we're manifesting, when it gets to the point of money, when money gets involved, sometimes that's like our stopping point. I just am curious if that has been the case for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think, if I had a treasure box of a few gold bars, then, but the saying, right? Money does not buy you happiness, but when you're on the other side, you
It
think,
does buy you tech support.
And it buys you a podcast,
Exactly.
maybe, right?
Exactly. So, I have thought about, why don't I just do the piece that I like, which is just talking on the podcast and just hire out for all my other services. And then there's the other part of me that says, I think eventually I should know how to do this and I'm capable of doing it. And so I should learn how to do this. And maybe eventually I will hire out, but it was something that I felt like I needed to do on my own.
Do
That's
you all-
really brave. That's really brave because I can't even figure out Facebook. I'm like, so that's great that you want to learn and use your techniques that you learn. That's awesome.
And I still think that this pattern, I'm sure we all had to face at some point, and maybe most of us are still facing, is a procrastination pattern, right?
That's me.
If you had all that money, you will have other excuses not to do it. Do you feel that, Lisa? Like when I procrastinate, I can be very creative to come up with excuses.
I've been trying to solve this to see, is maybe podcast not my passion project? Maybe I thought it was going to bring me joy because, of course, as I hit speed bumps, I find other paths that are more attractive, right? So other ideas, maybe I should be doing something else. Or, is this procrastination because I have a repressed fear? Is this a fear of failure? And so I don't want to continue and make this happen. So I don't know. I'm kind of at a crossroads.
Maybe we should do a 3x3.
Oh, that sounds fun
I'm up for it.
for me.
Does everybody have a procrastination
Oh my
pattern
God.
going on right now?
I
in their
am the
lives?
queen of procrastination. Yes.
All right, think
absolutely.
about something. Elizabeth, how about Beth?
Oh,
you want
me too.
Okay, you have a project.
We
You
got a lot of
procrastinate?
commonality here.
All right. Okay, Lisa, get ready. And Beth, Elizabeth, you guys chime in terms of your energy. And we're going to do 3x3 live so that we can help Lisa to get more unstuck. Because here's the thing. I want to make a quick comment here. that jump from, oh, I'm doing my life and doing regular things to, oh, I'm gonna do podcast. That is one of the steps that you are becoming unstuck. So happy to hear that. So because our stagnant life, same routines, is so heavy, it's really hard to get unstuck and explore something new. But then new things are coming up, and that's why we get stuck back into the procrastination pattern. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
So, are you guys ready?
I'm just waiting to be unstuck.
Yes, let's go. All right, so take a deep breath in to relax your body. When you're exhaling, release the tension from your body. Close your eyes. Think about that project that you couldn't get off the ground. When you think about that project that you're procrastinating about, feel the tension in your head, these thoughts. I need to do this, but I have this. Maybe I should do something else. Or let me do this first. If I had that, I could have done more. If I had more time, if I had this, if I had that tool, if I learned this, all of these things are coming at you as this procrastination pattern looms over your days, weeks, and you get more and more frustrated with yourself that you cannot get going. Feel that in your head, feel that in your body, drop into your body. Where do you feel that tension? Some of you might even feel tense by thinking about the project, the pressure of doing the project. Feel that tension in your body. Assess the intensity. How intense is your physical sensation related to procrastination, related to this project? And now take the biggest breath of your life into that part of your body where you're holding that tension. Hold your breath for 3 seconds and then exhale it out. Release it out of your body into the earth and connect with your feet. Take another deep breath and into the epicenter of that physical sensation. Hold it for 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Grab it and exhale it out into the earth through the bottoms of your feet. And we're going to do this one more time. Take a deep breath in, feeling that physical sensation of procrastination. Anytime, every time you have a procrastination coming up, feel that tension again. Inhale into it, and now holding 3, 2, 1, exhale it out. Back to the feet. Ground yourself through the bottoms of your feet. Keep your eyes closed. Excellent. Keep your eyes closed. And look at the intensity of those physical sensations now. And then as you feel lighter, visualize yourself taking an action to move this project 1 inch further. Nothing else. Okay? Feel the lightness. Use this energy. So the negative energy is out. The positive energy is flowing in from the earth, from the centeredness, from this groundedness. Use this momentum to visualize something that you can do today. Move the project 1 inch further. And when you do, claim your success. Scream as success. Feel that energy of success. Just moving your project a little further. Okay, beautiful. Take a deep breath in now, again, just to cleanse without holding. Exhale and open your eyes and come back to our beautiful circle on this podcast, sharing this wonderful method with our listeners. So,
All right, Lisa, debrief us.
yes, what happened?
Yeah, I just feel so centered. I feel so much stronger internally, and I can just feel the tingling in my fingertips. So thank you for taking us through that, Arda.
I want to know your action to move it forward.
Well, I have a new guest that is interested in coming on my show. And previously I would have been super excited and jumped on it, but it came in late Friday afternoon and I was telling myself that I was tired and I would do it over the weekend, and then it completely slipped my mind. And so through this exercise, I was thinking, well, I have an easy step that I can do is I need to schedule that interview because that's my favorite part of having a podcast.
Nice.
Beautiful. Well, that's the value that you're bringing into your life,
And
right?
Arda, I have sort of a funny story, but I hope it's relevant. I had a drain in my sink, and it's one of those pop-up drains. And my cleaning lady came and she depressed the drain and it didn't pop up. So it was stuck. It was literally stuck. And it was preventing me from using my faucet, right? Because then the basin would fill up and it had no place to go. So, and I was triggered. I was like, I'm usually a pretty nice person. And I was like, I can't believe she did this. This is so inconvenient for me. I don't know what to do, whatever. I had this like anger, and I was like, where is this anger coming from? And I kind of worked on the anger, and I sort of tried to replace it with some forgiveness. And I tried a bunch of other things. So anyway, I was in a meditation. I had ordered this tool. The tool came while I was in that, centered, aligned state. I was able to unplug the drain thing and flow, right? The water literally can flow, and my, energy can literally flow after that. So I feel like if that imagery helps people, great. But I feel like that's what you're doing for us, is allowing, when our drain is plugged,
that's it. That's
getting
beautiful.
the syringe, the suction cup, unsticking it, and then
Yeah.
allowing.
Yes. And one little side note, before forgiveness, 3x3 would have been literally unplugging everything. And forgiveness is such a higher energy. When you're angry, it's not as effective. But when you do the 3x3, neutralize your energy, and after that, bring that forgiveness, compassion, gratitude into that neutral energy. Oh my God, it creates miracles. It could have popped up. Your sink would have popped up, or without you touching it.
Exactly.
That's how powerful it is.
I love it.
Perfect. I think our time is up. Any last minute? What I want to actually, before we go, maybe a minute, if you guys take each your time to talk about life coaching school, if you guys would recommend to people. Our next semester is starting October.
Yeah, Arda, tell people about the next semester that's coming up, and just like a week away, I think.
Yes, it's a week away, and by the way, it has changed since you three of you attended. We are now basically accredited by the International Coaching Federation.
Wow.
For 30 hours of CCE, which is an incredible honor to be part of that community. In the coaching school, we teach 7 core competencies a coach should have. It spells Cecilia. It starts with the curiosity. It goes all the way to assertiveness, how to listen, how to hold space, how to be in the flow. And then we also share 12 coaching tools. It's a very, very colorful, multidimensional coaching
And
approach.
even if you're not interested, if people aren't interested in being a coach, it's great tools just to have in your belt.
Absolutely. It's a great program for personal growth, as well as we actually recommend leaders, managers, directors taking them, because it is the basis for our leadership development program as well. So absolutely, you don't have to choose life coaching as a career. But also, I'm curious, we have a couple of minutes left, curious what your experience was, and would you recommend that to others to attend the upcoming program?
Yeah, I just wanted to echo that it's not purely a coaching program. So I took it because I was interested in just personal development, and I invested in that. And it's helpful in all facets of life, whether it's helping yourself or your team with burnout, with difficult situations, conflicts. If there's teams that are not working well together, this can help manage that and improve the relationship in a very simple way. And it can happen quite quickly as well, as we've seen in many examples.
Beautiful.
Lisa,
Elizabeth, what
so
was your experience?
yeah. Yeah, so I'm not in the corporate world, but on a personal level, this coaching school has helped me immensely. And I'm a very anxious person, like high energy, anxious, and it's helped me just reduce my anxiety from like 100 to 10.
Oh my
And
God.
I
Oh
mean,
my-
that's pretty amazing. And I knew some of these techniques and tools, but it wasn't until I went to the coaching school that I was able to use them efficiently and in a way that would really help me with, I mean, you can read about tools, you can go to, but this is like with working with Arda and listening to everyone else, like for a couple of the tools that have really helped, like what if, then what if this happens, so what, and I did that so many times with Arda. I'm like, why aren't I using that? Like, so I was able to take this tool, and I realized that all those thoughts in my mind, it was a vicious circle, and it would engender more thoughts and more thoughts, but I can stop it. And I know that I am self-empowered, and I know it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And so when I feel that anxiety, instead of shunning it, I accept it. I do a 3x3. Then it allows me to be in the moment. And then if those thoughts come back, then I use it. What if, so what? And that has been so super helpful. Really,
my
that's
God.
the number one tool I use.
And Arda, the other thing I'll say about your coaching class is the community and the other students in the class. You created dyads for people outside of class to connect, and that was really a lovely aspect to your course.
Yeah, the second week we jump in, right? So usually, attendance varies, but just at 12 to 15 people, they start matching up from day 2, from week 2, and start to practice the tools that we are reviewing in the class. It's so much practical, so much empowering. Again, just giving you that confidence and connection with these skills and strategies and method. I mean, I don't think there's any other coaching school that has a method behind it. So there are certain, competencies and skill sets and tools and strategies they teach, but everything kind of comes together under a Rise to Realize Power method. I feel it's a unique opportunity for people to study.
And it's accessible to everyone, young college students. We're in there with college students and older people like me. And I'm like, how is this all going to work? And it does. Everybody has something to grasp in there and can walk away with something very useful in their lives.
Yes, thank you. And it's so bonding. I think that is like everybody gets so connected with each other because they are opening up more and more. The personal growth gets accelerated, as I call it. It's one of the most rewarding paths, because when you're interviewing, you already you all of a sudden know that what you are dealing with is somebody else is dealing with, and the connection is incredible during those dyads in the program. And after that, the community actually aspect of it is very powerful to support, and the referral program actually builds the business that you might use for your career as well. Well, thank you so much. It's been a lovely conversation. I hope you guys had fun, and I think it has been a very inspiring half an hour, a little over half an hour. But hope you can join us for the next episode. We will have a new guest, but we are thanking Lisa for being part of this podcast that she actually spearheaded a year ago. Again, appreciate Lisa you coming back and being our guest, and keep using the 3x3. And everybody, if you guys want to know more about the Power Method, please visit risetorealize.com, and you will have all the information. And we offer a 30-minute free consultation so that you can actually experience a glimpse of the Power Method. So until next time, everybody be well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you for being a guest on our podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. And I look forward to connecting tomorrow on Q&A. Ask Arda. It's a great new resource.
Woo!
Yes. Awesome.
Thanks,
Bye,
Beth.
everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Okay.